Hey everyone, today on People Now, Katy Perry and other celebrities come to Ellen's defense amid the scandal rocking her daytime talk show. We'll break it all down. And breaking Bachelorette news. Sources confirm a major shakeup in the next season. Why is Tayshia Adams really replacing Clare Crawley?
Concerned about it.
Hands down the best relationship I ever been in.
No jokes here. The hilarious Tiffany Haddish gets real about finding love with Common. It's all in a new interview. Also today,
we have one item that somebody had just had in a drawer forever, and it was worth $500,000.
comedian Jeff Foxworthy has a new show. He's helping people find unexpected fortune or not with their bizarre things at home. We'll explain. And Meredith Vieira reflecting on the loss of her friend Regis Philbin. All that and more coming up today on People Now. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to People Now. I'm Jeremy Parsons. Great to see you. Andrea's off today, but we'll be hearing from her later on in the show. Also, later in the show, I interviewed Jeff Foxworthy. He tells me about his new project where he's finding the value of random things like family heirlooms and things that people have in their home. But he also revealed to me his favorite thing to collect and how he's found these items over the years. Pretty interesting story. Stay tuned for that and so much more today. But we begin with this. Here's what you need to know and what's trending. Katy Perry is coming to the defense of her friend Ellen DeGeneres. Perry says that while she can't speak for anyone else's experience but her own, she wants to acknowledge that she's only had positive experiences on Ellen's show. In a series of tweets, Perry wrote in part, "I think we all have witnessed the light and continual fight for equality that she's brought to the world through her platform for decades." Ellen's also getting support from British DJ Samantha Ronson. She tweeted, quote, "Unpopular opinion, I've worked for the Ellen Show as a DJ for her parties for years. She's always been respectful and kind to me." Ronson also replied to comments that since she was a celebrity guest, she would have gotten different treatment from Ellen than her staff did. Ronson tweeted that she'd been an employee of the show and not a celebrity guest. She explained that her situation was, quote, "very different." Meanwhile, Ellen's wife, Portia de Rossi, also spoke out for the first time amid this controversy surrounding Ellen and her show. On Monday, she posted a note on Instagram stating that she's standing by her wife. She captioned the post by thanking her and Ellen's fans for their support. All right, The Bachelorette has released a new promo amid news that Clare Crawley has been replaced by Tayshia Adams as leading lady on the show. Now, in that clip, Crawley is wearing a one-shoulder gown, sitting in preparation for an on-camera interview. The screen then goes dark on her, likely alluding to the casting switch-up, but there's no mention of Adams in that promo. Multiple sources have confirmed to People on Monday that Adams was replacing Crawley as the Bachelorette after Crawley fell in love with one of her original suitors after the coronavirus pandemic delayed production back in March. I guess we have to be happy for her, but we're sad to not see it play out. Either way, a source close to the situation explains that one of the guys found a way to get in touch with Crawley, and they began talking. And by the time filming officially began, they were basically already in love. No one else stood a chance. That was what the source said. And they added that Crawley's heart wasn't in it and that she said she wanted out. The source adds that Adams was brought in as a backup because she was game and ready to go. Another insider promises this cycle is really the most dramatic season ever. We've heard that before, but we do believe it. A rep for ABC and The Bachelorette had no comment when reached by People, and Adams has not yet commented. But the news is garnering support from all around Bachelor Nation. Colton Underwood tweeted his support for Adams, who was a contestant on his season. He poked fun at himself while doing so. He wrote, "Congrats, Tayshia. Good luck. I hope you find yourself a better kisser." Fans may recall that Adams admitted while appearing on Bachelor in Paradise last September that Underwood's kissing technique, it needed a little bit of work. At least he's able to laugh about it now, though. I guess he's moving forward. He's dealing. Rachel Lindsay told Entertainment Tonight on Monday that she's thrilled to see another Bachelorette of color, and another former Bachelorette, Ali Fedotowsky, is also excited. Fedotowsky told ET on Monday that the casting switch-up is awesome and amazing. She also shared that she knew her top two men on the first night of her season. She added this, "I feel like Claire, maybe if she was like, there's no top two, there's a top one, and I know it right now and I'm done, I think that's awesome." Not only that she figured it out if that's the case, but I think it's awesome of the show to let that happen. All right, moving on now from people looking for love to two people who have found it. Tiffany Haddish confirmed on Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast she's officially dating the multi-talented singer and actor Common. Take a look.
I take it you're not in a relationship right now, or are you?
I am in a relationship.
With Common?
Yeah, we're twins now.
I bet I get such a good vibe from Common, just that him being a good dude. I'm not even concerned about it.
Hands down the best relationship I ever been in.
Tiffany confirmed that they met on the set of the 2019 film The Kitchen, but things didn't turn romantic until the beginning of the pandemic this year. After they worked together with Bumble on a charity project, they started self-isolating together. Now it is love. Tiffany goes on to tell Steve-O, quote, "I'm just way happier, and it's like knowing I got somebody that cares about me, that really has my back. It seems like he does anyways, and I love it. I love him." We are so happy for her. I caught up with Tiffany earlier this year at the premiere of her movie Like a Boss. We talked all about finding love. This is what she had to say. Watch.
I want a real man that got his own business going, his own career going on, and not needing me for nothing but companionship, an ear to listen to, and a little bit of a good time.
Oh, my goodness.
When I say it's a little bit, I mean a little bit.
Oh, my goodness.
That is a woman who knows what she wants. We are so happy for Tiffany Haddish and Common. Can't wait to see more of these two together.
Meredith Vieira is gearing up for the second season of her game show, 25 Words or Less. She recently joined me to share what fans can expect and reflect on the life and career of her late friend, Regis Philbin, including what she will miss the most about the legendary TV host. Watch.
Well, the obvious that everybody will miss is that he was the consummate entertainer. I mean, he's in a league by himself or with just a handful of folks through the years. He was so good at conversation, so good at listening, and such a great storyteller. But what I will miss the most is his kindness. He really never forgot that he was this kid from the Bronx. He never forgot how grateful he was to be where he was. He was a humble guy, even though he always laughed about, Regis did this and Regis did that. He, at his heart, he was poking fun at himself. He was just a good guy. When I started my talk show, it's really hard to launch a talk show, really, really hard. And hard to get people to come on because they don't know, well, is it gonna be good? Is it not? Nobody wants to be the one to step into the pool first. And Regis was one of the first people who called me and said, "What do you need? I'm there." Didn't have to do that. Just did it because I think he knew what it was like. And he wanted to, show his support. And that's who he was. And I will miss that a lot because there are a lot of great people in this industry, but there are a lot that, like in anything, maybe don't really wish you well. Regis wished everybody well.
Philbin died on July 24th at the age of 88 due to natural causes. He had over 60 years in the entertainment industry and was widely known for hosting the popular game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Vieira took over for him as the host of that show in 2002, and here she remembers how he supported her during that time.
He purposely didn't give me advice. I think a lot of people would say to me, and it was written, I don't know how this person's going to fill his shoes, and the shadow of Regis, and that show had become a juggernaut. And he said to me, and I didn't seek out his advice, but he came to me and he said, "You're going to be great. Just be yourself. You're going to be a great kid." And it was his way of saying, don't be me, be you, and be the best you can be. And that's who he was every day. He was him. So I really appreciated that. It was actually a very generous piece of advice, if you want to call it that he gave me.
And guys, we'll have much more with Meredith Vieira later in the week. All the details on 25 Words or Less Season 2. And she is sharing the importance of taking control of your health. So tune back in for that. Tuesday marks Meghan Markle's 39th birthday. So to celebrate, we are honoring her in the latest episode of People and Katy Couric's #SeeHerStory. It's a weekly video series celebrating female trailblazers from the past 100 years. Now, Meghan has always been an activist. As a tween, she famously wrote to Procter & Gamble, urging them to stop using sexist language in their ads. And it worked. Then when she got a little older and pursued acting, she faced many challenges being biracial, but she never let that stop her. Her breakout role on Suits put her on the Hollywood map. And then things really changed for her in 2016. That year, Meghan met Prince Harry on a blind date, and they fell for each other hard. Following a whirlwind romance, the couple got engaged in 2017 and tied the knot in 2018, with nearly 2 billion people watching their royal nuptials all around the world. And although life hasn't always been a fairy tale for Meghan, she always persevered. Take a look.
Amid the COVID-19 global pandemic, Harry and Meghan relocated to Meghan's hometown of Los Angeles. She's giving back to her community and addressed Black Lives Matter during a virtual commencement address for her former high school.
We are seeing people stand in solidarity. We are seeing communities come together and to uplift. And you are going to be part of this movement.
Meghan Markle, the woman who redefined what it means to be royal.
To see more on Meghan Markle and all of the hashtag See Her Story episodes, you can head to people.com. And the royal family shared their birthday love for Meghan via social media on Tuesday. The Clarence House account, which represents Harry's father, Prince Charles, and his wife, Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, shared this close-up photo of Meghan with the caption, "Happy birthday to the Duchess of Sussex." They also added a little balloon emoji, very cute. The official royal family account, which focuses on the Queen's work and activities, as well as those of her family members, shared a photo of Meghan with the Queen on a joint visit to Chester. That was back in 2018. In the caption, they wished her a very happy birthday. Prince William and Kate Middleton's account, Kensington Royal, also wished Meghan a very happy birthday, showing a sweet photo of her crouching down and smiling in conversation with a pigtailed little girl holding a cupcake. Happy birthday, Meghan.
All right, stay with us. Comedian Jeff Foxworthy will be telling Jeremy all about his new show, What's It Worth? He's virtually traveling across the country to uncover unique items and collectibles and sharing the stories behind them. Stick around for that. Grammy Award-winning musician Chance the Rapper and his family are the cover stars of Parents' September issue. When Parents caught up with the 27-year-old, who's dad to 5-year-old Kensley and baby Marley, who's about to turn 1, the country was reeling from protests over the deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. Between the pandemic, civic unrest, and heartbreaking tales of police brutality, this generation of parents is being tested like never before. But Chance, the dad, is hopeful and believes we can do better, and that if we all work together to stand up for justice, we will succeed. When asked about what parents are up against these days, Chance explains, quote, "Parents are put in this weird position where we've had to become teachers, along with being providers and caretakers." He goes on to add, "You become the main source of information for your child. A lot of us weren't prepared for that." And although his daughters are young, Chance and his wife Kirsten are currently teaching their eldest, Kensley, to love herself and to understand that her opinion is important. While isolating at home, Chance reveals that it was tough not seeing his parents for months. But on the flip side, he says it's been an opportunity to connect in a substantial way with our children and spouses. For Chance, he's particularly bonded with Kensley over little arts and crafts projects, like making a volcano experiment and even growing some sea monkeys. Very cute. For more with Chance the Rapper and his beautiful family, check out the Parents' September issue and go to parents.com.
I'm amazed at the condition these things are in.
I think there might actually be real Woodstock dust on these still.
So they've never been washed. It's amazing you could get them through airport security, because I imagine they might have a little bit of contraband smell to them as well.
The thing is, their granddad and great-granddad has an amazing reputation in the police and security business, and he is well documented as the head of security for Woodstock. Having said that, the condition of these is the best I have ever seen.
What It's Worth is a new series that follows Jeff Foxworthy as he takes a virtual trip across the USA to find a variety of unique items and collectibles, as well as the stories behind them that are all hiding in homes across the country. Telling us more about the show, we're joined by Jeff Foxworthy. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me, bud.
So let's talk about this just out of the gate. How'd you become a part of this? What was intriguing to you?
A&E did a biography on me last year, and I just really liked working with them. And so we were looking for a project, and we found during COVID, people locked in their house, they were doing all those projects that they had put off forever, like cleaning out the garage or the junk drawer or the basement. And people were finding things, and they had no idea, hey, is it worth something? Do I throw it out? And so we were like, all right, can we virtually go into homes like with people's phones and go talk to them and bring in experts virtually? And we found out that we could. And to me, there's just something fun about going in somebody's home. It's like when my kids were growing up, I used to volunteer to be one of the parents that opened car doors at the front of the school, because it made me feel so much better about the condition of my car. I would think our car was a mess.
Right.
And then you open the door and you're like, oh, we're in great shape.
Right.
Look at this right here.
Are you a collector?
I am. For years, I would carry baseballs with me. And if I was doing the Tonight Show or hosting an award show or whatever, I would get people to sign baseballs, not just baseball players. And so, you know, I have no idea how many I have, but I have them signed by Milton Berle and Johnny Carson and David Letterman and, you know, Brad Pitt and Elton John. And so that's an eccentric collection. And then I love to look for arrowheads. I go all over the country looking for like native artifacts. And so
wow.
I got a
pretty big arrowhead collection. And so I've uncovered things like I found a stone pipe that's just absolutely beautiful, and axe heads, and just all kind of cool things.
That is really cool. So yeah, this was kind of down your alley or up your alley.
Perfect. Yeah, I love old stuff, and I love collecting stuff. I like people. I've always liked people, and because everybody has a story. So to be able to actually go in their house, you know, as we're walking through, and I want to know the dog's name. One couple we had, they were trying to show us a statue that they had bought on a date 20 years earlier. And during the unveiling of the statue, their youngest son decided now would be a good time to shed all of his clothes and go running up and down the stairs and around the house. You know, you just normally don't get that on television. So it's been interesting.
Yeah, I'll bet. Just some crazy stuff. Is there a particular item or something that really struck your interest and you thought was just amazing, or maybe the most bizarre thing?
I mean, there was a lot of bizarre things. Like one couple had a painting, or it wasn't a painting, it's like a drawing that was so ugly the wife wouldn't even allow the husband to put it up in the bathroom. And his mother had given him this, and so they just kept it under the bed, and ends up the thing was by a famous artist and was really, really expensive. And I'm thinking, when we left them, this thing went from under the bed to over the mantle in the living room, you know, probably just like that. But yeah, I won't tell you what the item is. We had one item that somebody had just had in a drawer forever, and it was worth $500,000.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's talk quickly about your comedy. We saw you had some of your tour dates rescheduled for later this year. Do you think you're going to be able to do that? What's the latest for you in the comedy tour?
And by some of them, you mean all of them,
right?
You know what was so funny is I had been back in the clubs, and I've done this several times in my career, where I just said, I'm doing all new stuff. I'm not doing any of the old stuff. And to start from scratch is always just frightening, but I'd gone to the little clubs with the note cards and built this thing up over the course of the fall. And I had just gotten to the first of the year where I said, this stuff is good. It's really, you know, I got a new hour and a half here that's really taken shape. And of course, about that time COVID hit, and I haven't been on stage since February. But and out of everything I do, I'm so blessed because I get to do TV shows, I get to create games, I get to write books. But if you put a gun to my head and said you can't do but one, I'm always a stand-up, just like Seinfeld or Leno. That's what I do. Yeah. And so I miss that part of it, just that live audience and, you know, looking into people's faces.
Well, and obviously you're a legend and an icon, and I'm as a fan, I'm just so impressed with, you know, when someone becomes really known for something and like, can they reinvent and do it again? And then you do it again and you do it again. I was just watching some of your watching back some of your facts of life bits that you just recently had. Have you come up with new facts of life during the pandemic? or has it created more material in general being locked up at home?
You know, well, it hasn't. You know, the problem with now is, I talk to my comic friends, everybody's scared to go on stage because all of a sudden we've become a cancel culture, and everybody's scared to say anything. But I think part of a comic's job, my template was, hey, if I think it, or my wife says it, or my family does it, I'm just going to trust other people are thinking and saying and doing the same things. And that's kind of just always what has worked for me. And kind of as a country, we've lost our sense of humor. We're no longer able to laugh at ourselves. We've taken ourselves so seriously. And so, you know, I think for every comic out there, that's what we're missing is being able to go out there and just say, you know what, we all don't have to think and act alike, and that's okay. I mean, that's part of the beauty of diversity is I can still love you if you don't agree with me on everything.
And you know what, we've been talking a lot at people about the way these sort of isolation situations have affected relationships. You've been home a long time with your wife now. I wondered, is it good or bad? Have you learned something new?
Here's what I've learned. My wife has 500 million gigabytes of information, and I have about 10 gigabytes of storage. And so it's like trying to pour the Pacific Ocean into a thimble. There's a little spillage going on. But I actually use the time. I'm like, all right, I'm not doing stand-up. That I've been creating a game called
he said she heard, meaning when you're in a relationship, what the other person's getting is not always what you are saying. So I'm trying to use this quarantine time to my advantage.
Well, then we look back at Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Favorite show. When you look back at that, what was maybe one of your favorite takeaways or memories about doing that show?
You know what? It was so funny when Mark Burnett called me about that. He said, would you like to host a game show? And I said, no, too cheesy. Don't want to do that. And before I hung up, I said, what's the premise? And he said, adults taking an elementary school test for a shot at $1 million. And I just stopped. I said, dadgummit, Mark, that's brilliant, because everybody's going to think they can do it.
Right.
And I loved doing that show. You know, I'm just by nature, I'm not a mean person, so I found myself rooting for the people that were playing. I love the fact that it showed kids in a good light instead of a negative story about kids. And I kind of wish I was still doing that one too. That was fun. Right?
It's really good to talk to you. Thank you for taking some time, Jeff. And guys, What's It Worth premieres with 2 back-to-back episodes on Tuesday, August 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. All right, coming up tomorrow, we're joined by the one, the only, Elmo. Elmo has a new talk show on HBO Max. He's telling Andrea all about it. Cannot wait. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We'll see you back here tomorrow.